Welcome back to the Dubai Property Report podcast. I'm Emma, your host for today, and I've got to say, I'm pretty excited about this one. Now, if you've been following Dubai's real estate market, whether you're sitting in London, Mumbai, New York, or right here in the UAE, you've probably heard a lot of noise lately. Things like, is Dubai heading into an oversupply crisis? Or should I buy something affordable in JVC or go all in on a luxury villa in Palm Jumeirah? And let's not forget the buzzwords flying around everywhere. Off-plan projects, sustainability, green buildings, flexible payment plans. So here's the good news. Today's episode is going to break it all down for you. We're tackling the 4 biggest questions investors worldwide are asking right now about Dubai real estate. Oversupply versus demand. Is it really a risk or just media hype? Affordable versus luxury. Where can you actually get the best ROI? The rise of off-plan and sustainable developments. And finally, Terra Real Estate's exclusive Q4 2025 Investors Guide with the numbers you need to see before you make your next move. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive in. Because the next few minutes might just change the way you look at investing in Dubai. All right, let's kick things off with the big question that's been floating around. Oversupply. If you've been scrolling through news headlines or even chatting with fellow investors, you've probably heard it. Dubai is building too much too fast. What if the market crashes? Now, let's pause here, because honestly, this isn't a new conversation. I mean, people have been predicting an oversupply in Dubai for the past 15 years? And yet, the market keeps proving them wrong. Here's the reality in 2025. Dubai is not slowing down. Developers are announcing massive projects, towers, villas, entire master communities. And yes, the pipeline is huge. But here's the other side of the story. And it's the side that a lot of global investors miss. Population growth. Dubai's population has been growing at one of the fastest rates in the world. The UAE added nearly 100,000 new residents in 2024 alone, and projections show that by 2040, the population could reach almost 6 million. That's double today's number. So ask yourself this, can a city that's doubling its population actually be oversupplied? Now, let's get a little more specific. According to data from the Dubai Land Department, in the first half of 2025 alone, we saw over 70,000 property transactions. That's record-breaking, and rental demand, still sky high. Some areas are seeing rents jump another 15 to 20% year on year. So what does this tell us? Oversupply isn't the real risk. The real risk is missing out because you're waiting for a dip that might never come. And here's where I think it gets interesting. If you zoom out, Dubai's strategy isn't just about building apartments and villas. It's about creating ecosystems. Think of Dubai Science Park, Dubai South, Mohammed bin Rashid City. These aren't just developments. They're mini cities designed to attract industries, jobs, schools, and ultimately, families who will need homes. That's why the demand side of the equation is so powerful. People are not just buying properties, they're moving their lives here. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, some micro markets can feel oversupplied. You might see too many studios in one community or too many luxury towers launching at once. But when you look at the city as a whole, absorption is happening. Investors are stepping in, end users are moving in, and the cycle keeps turning. So my take, oversupply in Dubai 2025 is more noise than reality. The fundamentals, population growth, global migration, tax-free income, high rental yields, they're stronger than ever. And if you're an investor listening right now, the key isn't to ask, is Dubai oversupplied? The smarter question is, which communities will capture the strongest demand over the next 5 to 10 years? Because that's where the real ROI lies. Okay, now that we've tackled the oversupply myth, let's move into something every investor wants to know. Where's the money, really? Do you go affordable or do you go luxury? Which side of Dubai's real estate market gives you the best return in 2025? Let's break this down. Affordable. When I say affordable, I'm talking about places like Jumeirah Village Circle, JVC if you're in the know, Arjan, Dubai South, and pockets of Dubai land. These are communities where you can still pick up a one-bedroom apartment for, say, 700,000 to 900,000 dirhams. Now, here's the kicker. Rental yields in these areas are some of the highest in the entire city. We're talking 7 to 9% net yields, which, if you're comparing globally, is almost unheard of. London, maybe 3%. New York, 2 to 3%. Dubai's affordable communities are double in that. And what's driving it? Young professionals, single expats, couples moving to Dubai for work, and families who are upgrading but still want value for money. These communities are buzzing with demand because Dubai is attracting a younger workforce and they all need housing that doesn't break the bank. But here's the flip side. Affordable properties don't usually skyrocket in value overnight. They grow, yes, but steadily. So your play here is cash flow and long-term stability. Now let's switch gears. Luxury. This is where the headlines are. Palm Jumeirah, downtown, Dubai Hills Estate, Emirates Hills, Jumeirah Bay Island. We're talking properties starting at 10 million dirhams and going way, way up. The growth here has been insane. Villas on Palm Jumeirah, for example, jumped over 50% in value in just the past 3 years. And ultra-luxury penthouses, some of them doubled in price. But here's what's fascinating. Demand hasn't slowed down. Why? Because Dubai has become the global playground for the ultra-wealthy. Tax-free living, safety, lifestyle, and that brand new golden visa that comes with property investment. All of it makes Dubai irresistible to high net worth individuals. So, in luxury, the play isn't really about rental yields. They're much lower, maybe 3 to 4%. The real game here is capital appreciation and prestige. You buy into luxury because you want to ride the wave of value growth and maybe even just because you want the address. Now, let me give you the investor's angle. If you're a first-time investor or someone who wants steady, predictable returns, affordable areas are your safest bet. They give you rental income and solid occupancy rates. But if you're a seasoned investor or someone who can take on more risk for bigger upside, luxury might be your playground. Especially in 2025, where Dubai is still undersupplied in true ultra-luxury villas and waterfront properties. And honestly, the smartest investors don't choose between the two. They diversify. One affordable apartment that pays you monthly rent, and one luxury property that grows your net worth over time. So next time someone asks you, affordable or luxury, which is better? You can smile and say, why not both? All right, so we've talked about oversupply myths. We've compared affordable and luxury. But now, let's talk about the real buzzword in Dubai's property scene for 2025, off-plan developments. And not just any off-plan. We're talking off-plan that's sustainable, smart, and literally designed for the future. So, quick refresher. Off-plan basically means buying a property that's still under construction, directly from the developer. You're buying into the promise of what it's going to be, which sounds risky, right? But here's the twist. In Dubai, off-plan has become one of the hottest investment strategies. Why? 2 main reasons. First, affordability of entry. Instead of paying millions up front, you get super flexible payment plans. Think 10% down, then spread the rest out over the next 3 or 4 years. Some developers even let you pay 60% after handover, meaning you can actually rent the place out before you finish paying for it. Crazy, right? Second, appreciation potential. Because you're buying at today's price for tomorrow's product, by the time the project is handed over, the market has often moved up. Investors who bought off-plan in 2021 or 2022, many of them are already sitting on 30, 40, even 50% gains. But here's what's really changing the game in 2025, sustainability. Developers aren't just building apartments anymore. They're building entire smart communities. I'm talking solar-powered villas, water recycling systems, EV charging stations in every garage, walkable neighborhoods with green spaces, and even vertical farms inside residential towers. For example, projects in Dubai South are marketing themselves as net zero communities. Soba is rolling out green certified luxury towers. And let's not forget Expo City Dubai, which is being built from the ground up as one of the most sustainable, future-proof developments in the world. And here's the kicker. Global investors love this. Europe, Asia, even the US. Everyone's looking at ESG-friendly projects right now. If your property is energy efficient, if it comes with smart building certifications, not only do you save on utility bills, but you also attract the kind of tenant who is willing to pay a premium for a greener lifestyle. Now, I can already hear someone asking, but Emma, isn't off-plan risky? Fair question. It can be. You're relying on the developer to deliver on time, to deliver quality, and to actually finish the project. And yes, historically, there have been some bumps in Dubai with delayed handovers. But here's where 2025 is different. The government has tightened regulations big time. Developers now have to put investor funds into escrow accounts, which means your money is protected and can only be used for that specific project. Plus, only financially solid developers are being approved for large-scale launches, so the risk, still there, but way more managed than, say, 10 years ago. Let's bring this down to an investor's decision. If you're looking for immediate rental income, off-plan is probably not for you. You're waiting 2, 3, maybe 4 years before keys are handed over. But if you're looking for capital growth, flexible payments, and owning a property that's future-proof for the next generation of buyers, off-plan and sustainable developments are where you should be looking. And personally, I think this is where Dubai is going to shine on the global stage. Affordable rentals will always exist, luxury will always be in demand, but sustainability, that's the differentiator. That's what's going to put Dubai ahead of other global cities. So don't be surprised if the next time you land here, instead of seeing just shiny towers, you'll be walking through solar-powered communities, grabbing a coffee from a zero-waste cafe, and realizing your Uber is a self-driving EV. That's not 2050. That's happening now. So yeah, off-plan isn't just about buying property anymore. It's about buying into the future of how we live. Okay, friends, here's where we get really practical. We've talked trends, we've tackled myths, we've looked at off-plan, but now let's zoom in on what's happening right now in Dubai real estate as we wrap up 2025. So grab that coffee refill, because this is your investor's guide to Dubai's Q4 market report. And I promise, no boring spreadsheets, just the key takeaways you actually need. Let's start with the big picture. Transaction volumes, still strong. In fact, Dubai hit record-breaking numbers earlier this year, and Q4 is keeping up the momentum. The Dubai Land Department recently reported that we crossed over AED 400 billion in total transactions for 2025, with thousands of deals closing every single week. That tells us one thing: investor confidence is still through the roof. But here's the interesting bit. The mix of buyers is shifting. We're seeing huge demand from Asian markets, India and China in particular, alongside consistent flows from Europe. And get this, U.S. investors are quietly increasing their footprint too. That's not something we saw much 5 years ago. Now let's talk prices. Overall, residential prices in Dubai are still climbing, but at a more sustainable pace. We're talking single-digit growth, around 5 to 8% year-on-year in Q4. Compare that to the double-digit surges of 2021 and 2022, and you'll see why analysts are calling this a healthy correction rather than a slowdown. Luxury villas and branded residences, still hot. Palm Jumeirah, Dubai Hills, and downtown keep setting records. Some villas are now going for over AED 150 million. Yep, that's Hollywood-style money. But don't let that scare you, because the affordable segment is quietly outperforming expectations. Areas like Jumeirah Village Circle, Dubai South, and parts of MBR City are seeing strong rental yields, often between 6 and 8%. That's way higher than what you'd get in London, New York, or Singapore. Which brings us to rentals. Guys, rents are still climbing, and for investors, that's music to the ears. In fact, Q4 data shows average rental increases of 15-20% in some communities compared to last year. Why, simple, supply is catching up, but demand from new residents is still stronger. And speaking of demand, let's not forget population growth. Dubai is adding tens of thousands of new residents every single month. In 2025 alone, estimates show more than 150,000 new residents moved in, thanks to golden visas, job creation, and honestly, the lifestyle Dubai sells so well. Every new resident needs a home, whether renting or buying. That's the strongest hedge against the oversupply argument we talked about earlier. Now, let's get into strategies. If you're a long-term investor, Q4 is looking good for diversifying into off-plan. You lock in today's prices with flexible plans, and by the time 2028 rolls around, demand is projected to be even higher. If you're focused on rental yield, mid-market communities are your best friend. Think about Dubai South with its proximity to Al Maktoum Airport and Expo City, or Business Bay for professionals who want to be near downtown but can't pay downtown rents. And if you're aiming for prestige and capital appreciation, luxury is still the play. Branded residences like Armani, Bugatti, and Baccarat aren't slowing down. In fact, many are oversubscribed before launch. Investors here aren't chasing yield, they're buying status and scarcity. So what's the takeaway for Q4? Dubai's market isn't cooling down, it's maturing. It's moving from that wild buy anything and it goes up phase into a more selective, more strategic phase, which means as an investor, you need to be smarter, pick the right community, the right developer, and align it with your long-term goals. And honestly, that's the exciting part. The window of opportunity is still wide open, but it's not about jumping into any deal. It's about choosing the one that fits your vision. So if you've been waiting for the perfect time to invest, spoiler alert, there's no perfect time. There's only a smart time. And looking at Dubai's Q4 numbers, that time might just be now. And that's a wrap, my friends. We've just taken a pretty deep dive into Dubai's real estate world, from the so-called oversupply worries to where your money works harder, affordable versus luxury, the rise of off-plan and sustainable developments, and finally, the big picture of Q4 2025. If there's one thing I want you to take away from today, it's this: Dubai is not slowing down. The market is evolving, maturing, and creating space for every kind of investor. Whether you're looking for long-term capital appreciation, steady rental yields, or just wanting to be part of the luxury lifestyle that Dubai sells so well, and listen, I get it. It can feel overwhelming sometimes. So many projects, so many headlines, so many opinions out there. But remember, you don't have to navigate it alone. That's why we created the show, to cut through the noise and give you insights that actually matter, so you can make smarter decisions with confidence. Now, before we sign off, I want to thank you for tuning in. Seriously, whether you're listening from Dubai, London, New York, Mumbai, or wherever you are in the world, it means a lot that you spend this time with me each week. If you enjoyed today's episode, do me a quick favor, hit subscribe, share it with a friend who's curious about investing in Dubai, and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us reach even more people who could benefit from this conversation. And hey, if you want to keep the discussion going, head over to the description of this episode. Terra Real Estate is always sharing updates, market insights, and new opportunities. You can even drop us a message if you want to talk about your investment goals. We love hearing from you. All right, that's all from me here at the Dubai Property Report podcast. Thanks again for joining, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, the future of real estate is being built right here in Dubai.